In our last session, we learned about data types in the native HANA modeling. So what are the different data types we have, and what is the importance of each data type, and how we use in the regular, at the data definition as per the requirement. Now we are going to learn about SQL statements. Okay, HANA SQL statements. So before going into that one, first of all, I am going to teach about create statement, create schema, and then create, insert, update, and select. So we are going to learn about these four statements today. And before going into the create one, first of all, let's go check it in the system. Few things. Okay, so this is our HANA Studio. Okay, we must be in HANA modeler perspective. Okay, you see this icon, right? This is the HANA modeler perspective. I should be here. Then if I click on, this is our, I logged into my HANA database. Okay, and when I logged into the HANA database, under catalog, I can see multiple schemas. Correct? There are many schemas available under my HANA database. Okay, what are these schemas? So for each user who is having access to this database, there will be one user ID associated with it. So what is our user ID? Our user ID is HANA user. Okay, for each user in the HANA database, he is having his own schema. He is having his own schema. So where is my HANA user here? You see, so this is the my schema because I logged in with HANA user. So this will act as my schema. Okay, I have complete access on this schema. So each user has its own schema and they have complete access on their own schema. What about other schemas? So same way, how many people are working on this database? Everyone has their own schemas, but you may not able to see that schema until unless you have authorization on that schema. Okay, for example, let's take, there is a person called, okay, employee1. So whenever the admin creates one user emp1 here in this database, then automatically a schema will be created on this name. But when employee2, for example, employee2 logins into the HANA database, he cannot see this schema because employee2 doesn't have access to employee1 schema. If employee2 grants permission to employee1, employee1, so I am repeating one more time. We have two employees, employee1, employee2. Okay, na? Employee1 has its own schema, employee2 has its own schema. If employee1 wants to see employee2 schema, then employee2 must provide access to the schema to employee1. So we have one SQL statement to grant access. Okay, now why I am able to see means admin can see all schemas because admin user always have access to throughout the database, so he can able to see all the schemas. In real time environment, what will happen is, with respect to project, we will create schemas. Okay, now so far what we seen, so far I said each user has their own schema. Now I am talking about project perspective. In project, what we will do is we will create one schema for the project, and whoever joins into the project, we will grant access to that person for the schema. So for example, what happening is now I am going to create one schema here. How to create schema here? If you go to right click here, you don't have option to create schema. Generally, we know whatever is there inside. If you right click on the parent object, on the new button, you can have an option to create schema. You see, but there is nothing. So we need to write one SQL statement to create any schema object here. Okay, na? So how to write a SQL statement? To write the SQL statements, we need to open the SQL command prompt. You see, this is the icon, SQL console for selected objects. Okay, sometimes this particular button is will be in disable format. When will be in disable format, you see, when I am clicking somewhere here, you see at this time this particular SQL button is not in enable state. I cannot click on this button. Why? Because I am came out of the focus. So if you want to enable this SQL, first of all, either you need to select the database or you have to select the schema, any one schema. Then this button will be in enabled format. Okay, so by seeing it, you don't feel like you don't have access. You need to click, either put your cursor on proper place. Okay, so now what I am going to do is I am going to my HANA user and then I am clicking on this SQL. You see, now this is the system ID and this is the HANA user is my user ID and or else my schema name. Okay, now this is my SQL prompt. Here I can write my SQL statements. Now what I am going to write my SQL statement. Now my requirement is I want to create a new schema. So HANA user underscore one. Let's give in this way. Okay, what I'm going to create. So to create a schema, what was the statement here? Create schema and then schema name. Okay, and owned by means owned by, owned by any username. Whoever owns this schema, you can give that owner name, or you can simply write the schema name that till this point also, if you write, that is also enough. No need to write owned by, it's optional. So whenever you do like this, then what will happen is schema will be created under your own database, current database, wherever you logged in. So now I'm going to here, I'm writing my statement, create schema name. So what is my schema name here? Let's say H underscore Anita. I'm creating a schema with this name H underscore Anita. Okay. So click on create. You see below, whenever you execute any statement, below is the output screen. Here on the output screen, you can see the status of it. Okay, statement create schema H underscore Anita successfully created, and how many server process time and rows, you can see it here. Okay, so it was created, right? Now in order to get this information, what I need to do, right click here on HANA user or on a catalog, refresh. So scroll down, it sorts in alphabetical order. So let me check where I can see H underscore. Yeah, you see, I can see my schema name H underscore Anita. Okay, so in order to it will make me little yeah. Right click here on catalog, apply filter to reduce our hits. Let's reduce H star. H star, I think H star won't come. Sorry, 1 second. Star won't doesn't work here. We need to give H only. Filter H. If I give H, then what will happen? All the schemas with letter H, which is having H letter, will come here. Okay, so maybe, yeah, this is also not so good. Yeah, let me do one more filter here, apply H underscore, just only our schema will come, then nothing else will come. Yeah, H underscore Anita, wherever I can see H underscore, all the schemas will come. So okay, it will be okay. So if I expand the schema, these are the default folders created by default by system. So under your schema, by default, all these folders will be available. Column view, EPM models, functions. It means under this schema, you have access to create all these objects. Okay, now done. So we are done with the schema, creation of schema. So let's go to next part. Now we are going to learn about the create statement. Okay, what is create? So create table. So it's not actually create, it's a create table. Okay, so create table means this will create one table on your database table on your HANA database. Okay, create table is a keyword which creates a table on your HANA database. Now let's go to our system and see. As of now, under H underscore Anita schema, if I expand tables folder, you see any tables are there? No tables are there. Now you want to create one table. So how you can create table? You can create table in two ways. Using graphical way, right click on the tables, go to new, or else just click on new table. In this way you can create a table. So give just a table name as sales underscore one. Okay, and then here you can give document number. Okay, and varchar 10. And if you want to add new column here, plus symbol created on And we learn about data types, right? So created on is a date field. So I need to give date data type. Date. No need to specify length because date itself will take the length. Created on. After that, I am going to give material. Material I am going to give nvarchar. So what is the difference between varchar and nvarchar? We already seen in our previous session. So I am giving length 18, and then I am clicking on quantity. Okay, and quantity I am defining as decimal. When I say decimal, I need to give precision and decimal. Okay, 17.3. Finally, I am creating unit field for the quantity varchar 3. I am done with by providing the definition of my table. So this is nothing but our definition. In the definition, when you're creating any table, it is good to define a key for the table. Without key also we can create table, but it always better to provide key. So I am giving document number as a key to my table defining. So you are done with all things, and you have one more option called here type of table: column store table, row table, and table type. So by default column store table will be selected. Let's keep it this way as of now. Okay, I am done with creating my definition, and finally I am clicking on create button. By clicking on this execute button, a table, you see statement create column table executed, and affected rows 0. Affected rows 0 means table is created. In this table, no rows are got affected, nothing got inserted, nothing got deleted, something like this information it is. Okay, so when you're clicking on this execute button, what exactly system is doing? System is preparing a SQL statement to your visualization. What you see here, you see system is preparing a statement create column table, table name followed by the field and the data types. Okay, so this is what creating. So this you can write yourself also instead of doing graphically. If you want to create your own table on one, then you can do it. So let's try to create our own table. Okay, before going to that one, let's refresh this tables folder. If you refresh, then you can see one table. You see sales one table got created. Okay, now let's try to create our own table with the SQL statement. What is the syntax here? Create table, table name. So when you are defining the table name, it is very important where exactly you are creating this table. Are you creating in this schema or a different schema? In SAP HANA, same table name can exist in multiple schemas. Means I can go to another schema and create one more table with the same technical name. Okay, there we have that provision. So that's why whenever you are creating a table, it is mandatory to inform to the to mention in the statement under which schema you are creating your table. So under double quotes, we need to write the schema name. My schema name is H underscore Anita. H underscore, sorry, Anita dot. This is schema name followed by my table name. I am giving my table name as sales underscore 2. Okay, so create table, table name, and after that what we need to give? After that, if you go to the statement, you see after that within the brackets we need to mention the definition. How in the graphical view we defined our table, in the same way here you need to write everything on your own. Okay, so now I am opening my brackets here. You can write continuously or you can make it a little bit nicer way in this way. Okay, so doc underscore number, and this particular column is of type varchar, and of which how much length? 10 length. Okay, and I want to define this column as primary key. So that's why I written this a keyword called primary key. And then my second table column name is created on, and this data type is date. For date, no need to mention any length. And then I want to define third column called material, and I want to give this as nvarchar of length 18. So each column must be separated by one comma. After document number, I given comma, created on comma, material data type, and then comma. Each column must be separated with a comma separator. And then after material, quantity. a quantity of type decimal, and within the brackets we need to mention the precision and the decimal places, comma, unit of varchar 3. So done. So I am done with defining my, all the fields. Now I am closing this bracket. So I've opened one bracket here. I'm closing the bracket here. And after each SQL statement, we need to mention semicolon. Semicolon is the separator between each SQL statement. So I'm ending with semicolon. Now if I click on execute button, you see create table successfully executed in 6 milliseconds, 0 errors affected. Okay, so this is how we write the statement of create table. Now if I refresh my tables folder, you can see sales underscore 2 was created. So I want to see for later point. So I'm closing this window. I'm closing this window also. Now I want to see what is my, if you double click on sales 2, what is happening? Whenever do you double click on a table, you are seeing the definition of the table. So this is the current definition, document number created on material quantity. So you have 5 columns and these are the data types, and this is of type column store and the name of the table under which schema. So this is the general information what it is giving. Now you want to see any data is available under this table or not. So there is one table and you want to know whether data is there on this table, in this table or not. Right click on sales to open content or open data preview. So just go to open content. If data is available, then you can see the content here. So a system will write one select statement on the table, and if data is available, it will show. Since we just created this table without any data, so as of now, no data is available. So what we are going to learn next? So we are done with create table. Here in this screen, if you see, I am telling how to create a table. So here we can see create table syntax, and then we can see it was created under tables folder. Here S4 BPC1 is my schema name, and under this T1 sales is my table, and this is the definition of my table. Like after creating it now, it will come in this way, and on the right click of the table, these are the options that are available. So going to next. So next we are going to learn about insert. Now how to insert data into my table. Okay, so we have two options. One is right click on the table, go to generate and click on insert statement. This is one way, and the other way is write your own SQL to insert data into your table. So I am trying first method, right click, go to generate, insert statement. So what we said, it is generating a statement. Okay, so by using this statement, we can write data into the database table. Okay, so if I double click on sales to, this is my definition. All the string type values must be provided under, right click, generate, insert statement. All the string type data must be provided under single quotes. That's why wherever you have string type, you are seeing double quotes. And the date also to be provided under single quotes. Single quotes. String also we need to provide in single quotes. Date also we must provide in single quotes. Decimal also we have to provide under single quotes only. When we talk with integers and boolean, you can directly give as it is without any single quotes. Okay. So now I want to insert one record. So each column is separated with comma. So now what I can see here, I have one first column, second column, third column, and this is fourth. Yeah, decimals. Okay. Decimals it is taking directly without any single quotes. Okay. So under values, first of all, first column name. What is my first column name? First column name is document number. Okay, so I need to provide document number 1. 1001 is my document number. And what is my second column in my table? Created on. So I need to provide one date information here, 2022-04-01. Okay, one point here. When you're providing date, you can provide date in two formats. When we are learning data types, I said by default date format in HANA is YYYY mm -mm -dd. Okay, this is the default date format. So provide date in this format only. Okay, after date, what is my third column in my table? Material. So I need to provide material information next. So let's say M1 is my material. And then what was the next column in my table? Quantity. So for quantity is a decimal number. So it is asking, okay, to provide without any single quotes. I am giving 100.5. You see, better you can give, this is also in single quotes. If it is an integer, no need to provide any single quotes. But yeah, as of now, let me give in integer only. Okay, and you try for decimal with single quotes, without single quotes, and let's see whether it is giving error or not. Okay, just do that experiment. So I provided data for each and every column in my table, and now I'm clicking on execute. You see, now it is important to understand what was the message we received here. You see, statement insert to HANA, something this table name, values, these are the values, successfully executed. Rows affected 1, it means number of rows inserted is 1. That's why it is giving 1 here. Okay, now if you want to write insert one more record, just I'm copying this one, giving another one here, and I'm changing my data. So I'm inserting 1002 on the same date with material M2 and quantity 150. When you have multiple SQL statements on your command prompt, you can separate it by using semicolon. At the end of each statement, you must specify semicolon so that a system get to know, okay, we have two statements here, until from here to ending of the semicolon one statement, and second again insert to till semicolon you have second statement. Okay, so already first statement executed, right? So I don't want to run the first statement. So when you have multiple statements on your command prompt and you want to execute only one statement out of it, then select that particular statement and then click on execute. You see, now two records got executed. Okay, now I want to add two more records. So what I'm going to do is, now I'm changing my date here, giving 1003 date, changing date, and 1004 and changing date. Okay, now I have two statements on my command prompt. I'm not selecting anything, just simple, I'm clearing my this space here, log. If I execute here, what will happen is system will execute from starting of the command prompt till end. So what will happen here? You see now, first statement insert into with these values was successful, but the second statement was failed. Why? It was unique constraint violated. So what happening in my second statement, I given 1002, which is already available in the table. Okay, how to see data in a table? By right clicking on the table, go to open content, you can see already available data in the table. Okay, if you see, already 1002 was already available in my table. For that reason, what happened? Second row was failed. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to change it to later, new number, and selecting only this statement, and then click on execute. Now this was also executed. Now I want to refresh my data. So come to your output screen, right click here, refresh. Now 4 records got inserted. So this way we can insert data into the database table. So means for every record, do we need to write insert statement? No. If you want to insert data manually, you need to write insert statement. But if you have the same data available in a file, then you can upload the data from the file into your database table. Okay. So now let's see how you can, or else we can, yeah, let's cover that topic also. Now I want to add few more records into my table. Let's do two more records, not few, just two more records, by creating one Excel file, Excel instance CSV file. Okay, so close. I am taking, yeah, doc underscore number is my first column, and then created on, and then material, and then quantity, and then unit. These are my columns. So already 4 records are there. So 4005, 2022, 0301. Okay. Material M1, quantity 100 pieces, and 1006, 2022, 0301. M3, 150 pieces. Okay. So now these two records I would like to load into my table. Okay, instead of writing SQL statement, I am showing you now how to upload data, mass data from a file into your table. Okay, now let's save this table as a CSV file. Save as, go to documents and just sales underscore to table and of type CSV comma delimited. CSV comma delimited. Click on save. Yes. Close this file and save. Now what I am going to do is I am going to upload data into my table from a flat file. Right click on your table. You have an option called import. Okay, go to import and then import catalog objects on server. Use default directory. So this is fine. Click on next. 1 second. Click on next and select your table name. 1 second. Select the catalog object for import. No, not like this. 1 second, something wrong. Not like this. Just go to tables, right click here, import. Sorry, this is coming differently for me. Brands, sales. Just a second. Sorry, not from here, I think. So go to file, import. Okay, under import, under SAP HANA content, you can find one data from local file. Click on here, click on next, select the HANA user, click on next. Okay, so then what will happen? Here you need to first select the source file, browse and go to your documents. Sales2 is your file. Select. You see, if I go to browse here, it will support CSV, XLS, Excel, XX. These three kind of formats data it will support, but I prefer always use CSV. Okay, na? So open and then file encoded. It is okay, no need to change anything here. Delimiter. So my file is a comma delimiter, and so if it is an Excel file with multiple sheets, you need to select the sheet number also here, sheet name. Since my the CSV file, I don't have this need to option. And header row. Yes, my file contains one header row. So one. Import all data or partial data. That also you have an option here. I want to import all data. No need to touch this one if you want to import all data. Now target table. So are you going to create a new table or are you uploading data into existing table? Go to existing table, select a table. So on your H underscore Anita schema, under tables, sales2 is your table. Click on OK, click on next. And then this is your data in your file. And these are the columns in your table. Map. Either you can do auto map one by one, or you can do manual mapping also. I'm doing one by one because both are having same structure. And click on next. And this is the data from the file. This is the data already available in the table, and click on finish. So yeah, importing flat file complete successfully. Now if I go to right click on it, open content, now I can find my 5 and 6 records also in my table. So we are done with the learning about insert statement. Okay, now let's learn about next one. What is my next statement? Update. So what is update? So you already have data in your table. Right click on the table, open content. You already have data on your table. Now you found that there is some wrong in the data. For example, here 150 pieces is there. You want to change this 150 into 200. So how you can do it? You cannot edit it here directly. Okay, you cannot edit directly. So you need to write one statement to update the data in the table. So that's what we are going to learn, how to write data to update the data in the table. we are doing data manipulation. Okay, so I'm deleting this one. What was the syntax? Update. Okay, first go to here PPT. Here you can update table name, follow the schema name dot table name, set and where condition. We are using two keywords, set and where condition. I will tell you now. Update my table name. You can type your table or simply drag and drop here. You see, when I drag this table and drop it here, system populating along with schema and the table name. It's a shortcut. Okay, if you want, you can use. Update this table. Now, what need to update? What we want to update, that part we need to write on set condition. Set, what I want to set? I want to set quantity. Okay, quantity is equal to 200. Where I want to set quantity is equal to 200, where document number is equal to 1006. And always remember, when you are writing update statement, make sure you, okay, 1 second, where doc underscore number is equal to 1006. Since it is a string, we need to prefix in. So if you are not writing this where condition, what will happen is this update set, it will update all the records in the table with 200 because you are not specifying which record to update. In order to specify that, we need to write this where condition. Where exactly you have to update? Where document number is 1006. So it is important, whatever where condition you are passing, it must unix your record, data record. If I am passing 1006, then 1006 is making my record unique here. It is defining the unique condition to get my record. For example, instead of writing document number, if I write material is equal to M3, then this is also okay, making my record as unique. If I am passing where date is equal to created on is equal to March 1st, then what's happening? With March 1st, I have two records. My system will update both the records because wherever where condition satisfying, it will update all the records, all those records, I can say. Okay, so that's why it is very important when you are writing update command, make sure the where condition you pass correctly. It must makes your record unique, or else all the data in the table will be updated, for which where condition is satisfying. So now I'm 1006 makes my record unique. So if I click on let me clear my history here. Now click on execute. You see statement execute, successfully executed, rows affected 1. It means in my database of 6 records, if I refresh here, 1 row got changed. You see, it was updated to 200. I provided this particular syntax and a screenshot of how it will update. So here we try to update date for the document number 1002 from April 2nd to April 3rd. So you see initially it was a 2 in my earlier screen, 2. Now in the new screen it will update to 3 after executing it. Okay, so we are done with the update statement. Next, last statement we are going to learn for today is select statement. Okay, select. So what is select? We already seen this many times. Whenever I am clicking on right clicking on table and click on open content, what system is doing? System is writing a select statement on the table to fetch the data, to fetch data from the table. So select statement is used to bring data, to fetch data from the table. Okay, so I can copy the same syntax now into my command prompt. SQL command. So select stop. So what is this stop? In real time in projects may contain millions of records in our tables. So but if I try to see all data at once, what will happen? My database will a lot of database space will consume, and which degrades the performance of the system. That's why what SAP is doing, whenever you are doing a data preview of a table, it's always recommends to execute only top 1000 records, to bring only top 1000 records from the table. If you remove top 1000 and only write select star, it means star means all the columns from the table. Okay, from table name, it brings all the data from the table. You see, so for example, what happens instead of star, if I am writing select doc underscore number from this table name, what it will return? It will return only this column from this table. Execute. You see, only I am getting document number. If you want to see all the columns from the table, simply by mentioning star, it makes our life easy. Okay. Star means it bring all columns from the table. If you want it only few columns, mention the column name. So this is one statement. So every time bringing all data from the table, you know what will happen if the table contains huge data, you will face performance issues. Okay, HANA Studio also may hang. Okay, so for that reason, whenever you are writing select statement here, you must specify the where condition. Where class, what will do is it will restrict the data to the selection you are passing on where. So where, for example, where material is equal to M1. So the data what you give, you must give in single quotes M1. Click on execute. Now what happened? Out of 6 records, only with M1, only 3 records are available. It is showing that data only. So if you want to specify more conditions, where document material is equal to M1 and date and document number is equal to 1005, for example. On the where condition, so far we are passing only one argument, one condition here, material. If you pass more conditions, then you can separate that conditions by using and or operator. And means both will work. Material is equal to M1 and date created on is equal to 2022 0401. Okay, then click on execute. So with this, what happened? Invalid column name created on. So column name I will add. You see, if the syntax is correct, then system is returning only one, because with the document 1001 and April 1st, we have only one record in the database with this combination. So like this, you can give multiple. If you want to provide more, okay, more selections. For example, M1 and M3 you want to see. Okay, then let me delete this under condition. You can use R whenever you need, both conditions where material is equal to M1 or material is equal to M3. So now what will happen? Either this one or this one, both. If any one is there now, it will bring. Execute. You see M1 and M3 both came. Okay. So by using this under operators, you can mention your key, whatever selections you want, and this is how to write select statement. Okay. Now the same we can see on our PPT also. Select star from this table, which brings all data, and but when you pass the where condition, it will bring based upon your where condition. So select is not yet done. We have many other ways, to write select statement, and we will learn those in our coming sessions. Okay. For today, I am closing here. Okay. Na?